me.
Can I get this fucking wind blown out of our sails?
That's why I'm a fucking on-camera personality, not behind the scenes. Because behind the scenes, shit gets fucked up. Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Phase 3. Chris is laughing because we just recorded part 1, but we didn't record part 1. Because
battery died, phone wasn't plugged in, so we got 40 minutes of part 1. And part 1 was pretty friggin' good, so we'll have to redo that one.
Yeah, we'll redo that. So I don't know how we're going to post this yet. If I'm just going to wait till part 1's actually done before I post this one, or if I'll post this one just to confuse the fuck out of everyone. Wait, where's part 1?
I almost feel like
should do it
we
backwards.
should do the Tarantino thing. Just fuck it, do part 2 first.
Yeah. Fuck you all up. Yeah.
Well,
so
yeah.
anyways,
so part 2.
That was a great conversation, Chris. I'm glad no one will ever hear it.
They'll hear parts of it when we do it again, because some of that shit is gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
You know,
just come out naturally.
Hey, maybe it'll even be better.
Maybe.
Why don't you be positive about this?
All right.
Yeah, let's
what
be
would
positive.
Captain America do?
He would be positive about
He'd be
this.
positive about
That's
this?
right. And you know what? Tony Stark would too. So if you're Team Iron Man...
Right.
Oh, wait, that was last video.
You know who is Team Iron Man? Spider-Man.
Yes, he is very much Team Spider...
I'll
Team
recycle
Iron
my
Man.
joke. Here's Iron Man 4, Spider-Man Homecoming. Come on.
It's a good joke. It's a good joke, but it's a good joke. Dig is what it is.
You know what? I gotta say, this is a really cool cover. I love how they did all the printing backwards on the back. So you have to flip it.
You have to flip it upside down. I'll say this part is a really cool cover part. I actually don't like that you have Iron Man.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Awful.
Slide it out. Oh, guess what? Iron Man is there again too. Now,
yeah.
I'm not as hating on it because of the Iron Man aspects, but I would wish that they would, even in the marketing, allow it to stand on its own merits.
But the thing is, why Iron Man is on this is because this was Sony's movie to put out. Not Disney's like the rest.
That's right.
Sony knows, hey, all our stuff sucks. We need to put Iron Man all over
even if Iron Man was in for 20, maybe 5 minutes in the whole movie.
Yeah, I gotta say that Bill Zwecker of the Chicago Sun-Times, best Spider-Man movie ever.
No. He just says best Spider-Man ever.
Oh, best Spider-Man ever?
So.
Either way, best Spider-Man ever. You're an idiot, Bill. All right.
Okay.
So.
All right. So.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yep. I'm waiting for you. I feel like this is going to be a good one to just listen to you just chew this movie up.
Especially now that I'm just fucking all raged up.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's walking in on a bad moment right now.
Yeah, exactly. It is not good. Not good.
Well, you know, I gotta have it in front of me so I can stare into the eyes of Spider-Man as I'll start off with the good, because I feel like the good will be shorter.
Okay.
Michael Keaton's awesome in this. It's the Vulture.
Yeah, he is. He's actually...
He's awesome in it.
He is absolutely awesome.
Yeah. I'm done.
I don't know why you gotta flip it over.
Oh, because it's not, no, on this one, it's not upside down.
That is hilarious. Okay.
All right, so we'll slide that out so I can actually read the fucking thing. Okay. Right. Marissa Tomei's great as Aunt May.
Yeah, even though not that they skewed younger because she's like 50.
Yeah, but and she looks younger than she is.
She looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean...
And I mean, it's a younger Spider-Man now. It's going to make sense that we have a younger Aunt May.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be decrepit or anything like that. Like the Ultimate version. I love the Ultimate version.
Yeah,
where she's older, but she's not falling apart.
Exactly.
You know?
So...
I always kind of thought that with Homecoming that was the route they were going to go. But, I mean, it's close enough with Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
I agree.
I like the name. Homecoming, I do like the name.
Sure.
I like it because he's in high school. They're doing the whole homecoming thing. But also because he's coming home to Marvel.
Exactly. That works.
It's got a nice touch to it.
Yep.
So when they announced the name Homecoming, I was like, I like that.
I heard a rumor for the sequel, it's going to be Spider-Man Academy. Which I was like, that's garbage. can it just be Spider-Man 2? I know we already have a Spider-Man 2. I get that. But
that's garbage.
Or like
it better not be Spider-Man Academy.
Because it can't be Spider-Man Homecoming 2 because that's dumb and redundant.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Spider-Man something else, but Academy is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just dumb.
I think they should just go back. They should go back just to like the titles of the comics again.
Yeah.
Like they were kind of doing.
Let's go
the
Spectacular
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Web of Spider-Man.
Yep.
Spider-Man's Tangled Web.
Exactly. So,
there's a lot of options.
Tons.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yep.
Hey, that works.
That one I'm not really.
No,
but still, they've got
okay.
options.
They got options.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just so fucking flustered that we lost the first part, and I'm talking about one of my least favorite Marvel movies right now. It's just like, hey, I should have a fucking shot beside me or something.
Yeah, you might as well at this
Yeah.
point. I mean, it might get you back in the groove.
Or knock me out.
Or knock you out, yeah. Well, I don't know what's going on here. But, okay.
Okay, so Vulture's the bad guy in this. The reasoning behind him being the villain, I like it. I like it a lot. I like how...
I like that. I actually like the reasoning behind it being just basically just...
It's coming right off of the first Avengers
Yep.
with the War of New York.
Yep, I love that he's a city worker.
Yep.
You know, I love that it's just like the damage control shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking created by Tony Stark.
Yep.
So now you've got Tony Stark causing a mess and then cleaning it up, and the city worker gets fucked over.
Yes.
Like, I thought that was a great way because it immediately makes you go, okay, so he's not just a cutthroat piece of shit. He's just literally like, hey, look, like I had a bunch of guys here.
No, he was a very sympathetic
I even love
villain.
the part where the guy goes, well, you shouldn't have overextended your reach, and he's just kind of like, shouldn't have even, boom, knocks him right out. I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
Fuck that guy.
Because, I mean, even though, what's her face, I can't remember her name, but the head of damage control, great casting. She looks exactly like they do in the comic books.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember her name either. I know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
These people probably won't.
Yeah.
That's all right.
But, you know what? Google.
Yeah, Google does wonders.
I mean, I like that she's a little bit more on the sympathetic side, where she's like, look, like, I mean, there's not really much we can do type of thing. You know, but I love it that it immediately gives him a target in Tony Stark and gives him a reason to do what he's doing, you know. And also, I love that they tackled the scavenger aspect of a vulture.
That's cool.
You know, like
That's
a vulture
cool.
is a bird of prey, but it is also largely a scavenger, right? Which I thought was a really cool thing that you never really saw anything like that in the comic books.
Yeah.
He was the old guy with the really, like, the iconic costume that I wish we would have got to see in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
But we didn't. Okay, fine. This was really close.
It's a cool costume. Like,
really,
they gave him
really close.
the big
with,
fucking
like,
ruffles around
but
the
I
neck
like
and
that they
everything.
got that. They've got, like, the bombardier jacket. Like, everything makes sense. And it's all stolen Stark tech.
Right.
You know?
Which leads me to believe that Stark should probably fucking do inventory better.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like my whole big, like, besides the Iron Man aspect of it all.
It still
like,
bugs me.
Because he kicks us off after the New York thing, right?
Yep.
He goes fucking bad guy right away after that. So he's been doing this for years.
I wouldn't say a bad guy, because he's not really hurting anybody.
Right, he's just stealing and
He
stuff.
is robbing, because he's going to fuck people up that are going to stop him.
Yeah.
So he's not a burglar, like Ant-Man.
No.
He is a robber.
Yes.
Okay? But he's... You know, he's doing it on this... He wants to do it as far under the radar as possible because they can't operate out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I thought that was a great touch, too.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Where he's literally like, the reason why I've been doing this for so long is because we've been under the radar. Nobody knows we're doing this. Yeah. So that's a nice touch. And the twist, which we'll get to at some point. But
yeah, so, I mean, but he's been doing this for years.
8 years.
8 years.
Which kind of messes up with the continuity of the timing.
He's taken fucking Stark's tech. He's taken the Chitauri stuff.
Yep.
And during this entire time, during these 8 years, nobody knows about this except Spider-Man when he stumbles upon it.
Yeah, by accident.
By accident.
You know, I'll say this really quick. So anytime there's been an Avengers-type battle with whoever, doesn't matter if it's Avengers or Captain America, whatever, when there's damage and parts and stuff lying around, these are the guys that are picking it up as quickly as they can, or making it so that they can steal it in between transports and stuff like that. Really smart, which I really liked. It was a really interesting take on a character that could have been a throwaway bad guy.
Easily.
You know.
So they made a very interesting villain.
Yeah.
With the Vulture.
Especially when they could have gone with the Green Goblin again.
Again.
Which I'm glad they didn't. They could have gone with Dr. Octopus again, which I'm glad they didn't.
No, because he's been perfected.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's going to be really hard.
It's going to be hard to top that.
It's going to be hard to come close to, like, matching Alfred Molina.
Yeah.
And the characterization.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to beating it. Like, never mind beating it, just matching it.
I know.
You know? Because, like, with Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Peter Parker, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best Spider-Man and Peter Parker together.
At doing both?
Yeah.
Yes.
Will always have a soft spot for Tobey Maguire.
Me too. I mean,
how
old were we when the first movie came out?
Doesn't even matter. Spider-Man 2 is still one of the greatest movies of all time.
It was a big moment for us to see Spider-Man on the big screen. Finally.
Huge. And to have him actually be like a nerd.
Yeah.
And then to be Spider-Man. And even though his Spider-Man is the weakest Spider-Man of the three.
Yeah.
He's still really good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's just... But like I said, Spider-Man 2, amazing.
Yeah. So, like, I think, like, that was our Spider-Man growing up. So, to me, I'm always going to have that soft spot. He's always going to be my favorite Spider-Man.
Yep.
It's like my dad with Bond. He loves Bond.
Yep.
His favorite's Roger Moore because that was his Bond growing up.
That's right. And that's like Daniel Craig is my favorite.
Right.
Even though I grew up with Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig's my favorite. Yeah. He's going to be the one that I will always now compare others to. Where I'll go, yeah, you're good, but you ain't no Daniel Craig. But anyway.
So, so all of this is going on, and Spider-Man stumbles upon it, and no one believes him. Tony Stark doesn't believe him. Okay, now, Tony, your shit's been going missing for 8 years. How does nobody notice this and then not believe him when they say, hey, somebody's stealing the Chitauri in your tech?
I'd be
like, maybe I should just look into this.
Even the first time I watched this movie, and I like this movie better than Kenneth does. I love this movie.
He does, because when we walked together, you actually said that's your favorite Spider-Man.
I said this is my favorite Spider-Man. Now, retroactively, I'll go, he's my favorite Spider-Man. It's not my favorite Spider-Man movie, okay? But even watching it the first time when they did that 8-year leap, and they had Peter Parker be the guy that brings it to Tony's attention, and Tony goes, just don't worry about the guy with the wings. Just leave it for the experts to deal with or whatever. Which,
as far as it's him.
Immediately that makes me go, okay, so now he's brought it to your attention that this guy's using tech. Now, he doesn't say it's Stark tech. He doesn't make any mention of it being Stark tech, but he does say that this guy's got crazy tech, and no one knows who he is. And, it's weird that Tony Stark's response is, leave it for the experts, and then...
The FBI, right? Isn't like...
Hold on. Leave it for the experts, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's it, and that's the scene where it's just the suit. It's not even... Stark's not even there.
But it was Stark that called the FBI to the ferry.
We find that out later, though.
Right.
Which
really boggled my mind.
Again, we get to the ferry scene, which is really cool, but you're right. He goes like, I'm the one who called the FBI. And then immediately I go, the FBI? You're fucking Iron Man. And even though Civil Wars happened, you still are friends with a large portion of the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So you send the FBI to find this guy who's wearing a giant wing suit that you already heard from, like, Peter Parker was like, this guy fucked me up.
Last time I checked, it was his problem to kind of look after the superhero, or the bad guy, the super villain.
The other thing, too, is, okay, so you've got Tony Stark, who enlists a kid.
Right away, that's sketchy, right?
Enlists a kid to help him fight Captain America in Civil War.
Yeah.
And then he later says the reason why I did that was because I knew Cap was going to pull his punches on you. So now you use this kid as a pawn in your fight with your buddy. And then he comes across something that you should have been aware of just by regular checks and balances. Like, hey, every shipment we've ever had since the Chitauri stuff has been... There's been stuff missing every single time, but this kid shows up and points this out, and you're still just like, yeah, don't worry about it, buddy boy, and this is still a kid. in a decked out supersuit.
Yep.
You know, and that's on you. He even says that in the movie. He goes, if I die, I kind of feel like that's on me. No, it's 100% on you, you stupid asshole.
Yeah.
Like, it's 100% on you. There's no way around it. And for a guy that went through PTSD...
Right.
And he's an adult.
Yeah.
And they never really touch upon his age. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, Stark's in his mid-30s in Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's closer to 50. By the time this movie hits, he's closer to 50. Even though we know, I think Robert Downey Jr. is in fact 50. He's closer. We'll say he's closer to 50. Yep. You got a kid who's a kid, and you went through post-traumatic stress disorder, but you're just like, yeah, it's cool, whatever. Mm. Yeah, if you die, I kind of think it's on me. Like, those parts there that still stick out, still bug me, and still is just like, this is so stupid. Yeah. This is so dumb, and it actually makes Tony Stark look like a shitty parent.
Yeah. This is my least favorite take on Tony Stark.
Like, Civil War did a great job of not making you hate either Tony Stark or Captain America. If you're Team Iron Man, you still can kind of go, I can kind of see where Captain America's coming from, and vice versa. You can kind of see where Tony Stark's coming from if you're Team America. If you're Team America, America! That's right. You're save the motherfucking day, yeah. If you're Team America, you still kind of go, I can see where Tony Stark's coming from. Whereas in this one, I'm like, I don't understand at all. Especially because they're co-opting Tony Stark as the Ben character, as the Ben Parker character, as the guy that leads Peter Parker to become the actual Spider-Man that we know and love, because with great power comes great responsibility. Mm-hmm. We don't get that. We get, if you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve it, which is an updated version, which is good. It's just, it's Peter Parker's looking up to Tony Stark because he wants to be like Tony Stark, and even though Stark says, I want you to be better, you're being a piece of shit. You're being a fucking piece of shit. You're the absentee dad that now suddenly, when he actually has to be a dad, he's pissed. Oh, all the, no thanks to you. Like, is everyone okay? No thanks to you. It's fuck you. Yeah. And I like that at least they have Parker literally going, well, thanks to me, you would never even heard about this if I didn't bring it to your attention. And he's like, I called the FBI. And again, the FBI, fuck you. Yeah. You're Tony Stark, you called the FBI. That still never flies with me.
No sense.
Doesn't fly with me. And it does take me out of the movie enough where I'm just like... But, when there's no Tony Stark, when it's just Peter Parker being Peter Parker in high school and being Spider-Man, it is so good. Like, you can't tell me that it isn't so good.
No, the school scenes are great.
Even the scene where he's at Delmar's Deli, and the guy says in Italian, or whatever language that they're speaking, because they don't really give the ethnicity, but he's talking about Peter's Aunt May going, she's a really hot Italian lady. And then he fires back in the same language, oh, how's your daughter? Yeah. You're like, okay, all right,
So...
Okay, but yeah, the Tony Stark stuff...
Just way too much Tony Stark.
There's way too much.
It's basically like Spider-Man cannot exist without Iron Man.
Yeah.
In anywhere form. I know, I'm fine with them wanting to escape the whole Uncle Ben thing, go a different route with this, but the Uncle Ben thing still happened. There was still an Uncle Ben.
That's right.
He isn't even mentioned in this movie.
No.
There's not even a photo in the apartment of this a random guy.
There is absolutely nothing. In fact, while they don't mention it in Civil War, it's made very apparent that that's why, like, the Ben thing is why he's doing what he's doing. And it's blatantly obvious without them actually saying, my uncle died because I didn't fucking save him.
Yep.
I didn't stop the robber or whatever whatever they updated, but ultimately it always has to be he's Spider-Man in the way we know him and love him now because he fucked up. Mm-hmm. He was an arrogant prick, and he led to his father being killed. And that's why he's Spider-Man. Yeah. Okay? It always has to be that way. You can tweak it, but it always has to ultimately be his fault, because that's the life lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then when you co-opt him, like I said, when you co-opt it with Tony Stark and he's being this piece of shit dad, he's basically being the cool older brother that you don't realize is actually kind of a douchebag because you idolize him. It's that part where now it doesn't ring true. And they, like, very lightly touch upon it in this one where he's like, when Ned's character catches him.
Right.
When he comes in, takes the suit off, and he's just like, oh, I'm not Spider-Man! You're Spider-Man! I'm not Spider-Man! It's like, don't tell Aunt May after everything she's been through. Just that line, and you gotta go, oh, okay. But that's it.
That's it.
Never mentions it again, ever. Which, like I said...
It bothers me.
It bothers me,
it does,
too.
Because Spider-Man, no matter what version, he's always been Spider-Man because of Uncle Ben. Show me a picture.
Hell, even have him visit the grave. If you don't want to cast him, maybe I don't need a picture, but I need something that says, you know what?
The tombstone doesn't even have to say Ben on it. It could just be him looking down at a tombstone, and I would know right away.
I would know right away, and Michelle would know because of me just being...
Anyone would really know.
You know?
Because, and then, like, the end of the movie, when he's under all the rumble and shit, and he's thinking back about talking with Tony Stark.
Yeah, that part really... That was the perfect scene
you think about,
for them to do the great power comes great responsibility.
Or
uncle. Even, not even that, or just have him, like, holding his his uncle's hand or whatever.
Something simple. Something so simple.
And that's where, like...
He doesn't think about his aunt. He doesn't think about MJ. Like, he thinks about nothing.
He thinks about
Tony Stark.
The guy who really didn't give him the time. Hell, I would have accepted if he thought about Happy.
Yeah.
Because Happy's stuff in this movie,
right.
I actually really liked.
Happy's awesome in this.
My favorite part is where Happy is like, the put upon, like, yeah, fucking leave me alone, don't bother me. But at the end, you have where he goes, huh? And, like, he's like, you find out that Happy's the one that discovered Spider-Man and brought him to Tony's attention.
Yeah.
So instantly now... And his stuff was played for laughs, and you were like, ha ha ha, but at the end, you're just like, oh my god, that is awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm so happy Jon Favreau came back, and he was great in this.
Yeah.
He was great. That little twist on all of it was great.
Yep. But I agree, like, I know what they're trying to do, and I get it, but at the same time, like, don't try to rewrite it. Like, that was one of the things I didn't like about Amazing Spider-Man, was that they were rewriting it. Again, they were doing an updated version.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure, they had it be ultimately his fault that Ben was killed, but they still were trying to soften that by emphasizing his parents' role in his life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different take, but now his dad's the one that says, with great power comes great responsibility. That's a great take, but it has no emotional bearing because who the fuck is this guy? Yeah, you're my dad, but I never knew who you were.
Yeah.
I was always raised by my aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
Sure, I knew they were my aunt and uncle, but they might as well be my parents. So, you know, and for a guy like me whose dad wasn't always in his life, who's even his parents, like my parental structure isn't conventional. My grandparents are better parents than my parents ever were.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that was one of those things where it kind of always spoke to me.
They were basically your main men, yeah.
Yeah, they were my main men, so growing up I could feel for this guy because, I mean, yeah, my parents are still alive. It was just, that was the scenario, that's how it worked. Mm-hmm. My mom was there, then when my mom wasn't, my dad showed up, but it was always my grandparents. So I got it.
Yeah.
So then to rewrite it and try to, like, do it with his parents, or to do it with Tony Stark, it's like, you're missing a vital part of this character, and it's maddening because this is a Marvel/Sony effort.
Right, this is the first one that Marvel's actually involved with.
And especially because, like, we mentioned in part 1, and we'll mention again in part 1A, the Redux.
Part 1, the reboot.
The reboot, yes, the reboot. That scene where you introduce Peter Parker is amazing.
Yes.
It's so good. And if there was more of that here, it's so good that it's like, okay, so you got that part right. How did you start stumbling over here? And also, what happens when now it's just Spider-Man and Sony? you built up this mythos laced with Tony Stark.
Exactly.
What do you do afterwards?
Anything happens between Sony and Marvel now, they're fucked.
Yeah.
They're fucked.
Like, we're lucky that he's in Infinity War.
Spider-Man 3, Homecoming 3, or whatever it's going to be called.
Academy 2.
All of a sudden, Uncle Ben's in the picture because Marvel Studios isn't involved anymore.
Yeah, and then it's going to be weird because then it's going to be like, oh yeah, by the way, it's Uncle Ben, hey!
They'll have the Clone Saga and they'll bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, so like I agree with you. The parts that don't work almost wreck the movie for me.
Yeah.
It's just Holland's portrayal is so good.
He's really fucking good.
You know, and even though, like you said, you didn't like how Tony Stark made his costume.
Yep.
I'm okay with it because they had his makeshift costume that you saw in clips in Civil War, and then you see it, and I said one of the things I liked about this was that it was the reverse, because every other origin movie, he's got the shit costume, but he gets the good costume at the end, because now he's the real hero. Now, it's the reverse. He's the real hero without the great costume. Mm-hmm. He's got his, like, socks and underwear suit with the goggles that he made himself, right? Yeah. And the webbing he made himself. All of that stuff he did himself. And it actually makes it better. Mm-hmm. So that when you see him in the suit at the end shot, after he turns down the Iron Spider suit, which at the time I didn't like, but now I actually think looks pretty cool.
I gotta see it more. Besides a few trailers we've seen, but
it feels earned because it's still like if you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve it. Well, now he deserves it, but it works so well. Even the scene where, and I was sold on him all the way through the movie. Mm-hmm. Even when you're like looking at it and you're trying to say, "Hey, buddy, Peter, seriously, Tony's a fucking asshole right now. Don't try to be like him. Yeah. Be better, but be like Captain America or whatever other cool guy that you want to be like." The scene where the rubble's on him and he's fucking crying. He's not like, well, I'm fucked. He's literally like just crying because he can't get it up, and it's just phrasing. He's just like crying because he's a fucking kid. And he's doing things that no other kid's ever done, and he's freaking out. And then finally, yes, he does have the image of Tony Stark, but he ultimately does the thing. And I've seen it in the comic books a bunch of times where it's over. He's down and out. Yeah. He's under the rubble, and then finally he just digs deep, and oof. And I'm not always a fan of, say, and I realize why they do it, but they always have Spider-Man without his mask off.
Yeah.
Always. But this was one of those scenes where I'm like, it works. Yeah. It's better without the mask because you see it. It's unabashed crying because he's a fucking kid, and then he goes out and saves the day. You're just like, fuck, wow.
No, there's definitely a lot. There's good parts in this movie. Yeah. It's not a bad movie. I don't hate this movie.
No.
It's just not the Spider-Man I wanted from Marvel Studios. It's... He looks awesome.
I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
The suit looks awesome. See, the suit looks amazing.
And I'm not a big fan when they change the suit.
Yeah.
Like, because when you see the original Spider-Man movies of Tobey Maguire,
that's a great suit.
They looked great.
I think the best suit was Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I have to agree.
Yeah.
Best suit was Amazing Spider-Man 2 until this one. But, like, because you're saying, well, I mean, like, and I like it when Peter Parker creates his own suit. Mm-hmm. But when you see the suits in real, like in the movies, like, well, Tobey Maguire's had, like, really thick threading for the webbing.
Yep.
And I'm like, how's a kid going to do that?
Yeah. Makes no sense.
That doesn't make any sense. Even though these Amazing Spider-Man costumes were better, you're still like, and they have the montage of him creating the suit, it's still just like, yeah, but really, how is he going to get it like that? Mm-hmm. You know, this is a kid who's a dorky nerd, but he's also a fashion designer as well. So in this case, I'm okay with Tony taking the suit that he made on his own and going, okay, we'll keep the color scheme, but we'll add a shit ton of tech in it and go from there. To the point where I don't even mind this black thread, or like, this is just a fashion choice.
Yeah.
But it works. I think it looks great.
I don't mind that. I think that looks pretty cool. And if it would have been Tony going, we're going to provide you with a suit, that was just something more armored for protection, things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe some wings so he could soar,
Yeah.
like under the armpits.
Yeah.
Simple things like that. The whole fucking, the woman talking in his head and him seeing everything in Iron Man vision and apparently death mode being programmed into his suit.
I didn't like kill mode, even though it was funny the first time.
Yeah.
But afterwards, I was like, okay, well, why would
that even be in there?
Yeah, why would Tony have that?
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
Hey, you're a kid. I'm going to put kill mode in your suit that might accidentally pop up one day.
Yeah.
You're going to murder a bunch of people.
When the training wheels protocol is lifted,
now
you're going to have access to this. I thought that was annoying. I didn't like how they had the different modes for the webbing, and they played that for laughs.
Yeah.
A couple of times. It wasn't just a one-shot deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you're leaning into more of the Tony stuff, where you're just let him be Spider-Man. Let him do that.
Exactly.
And
I mean, it's disappointing because Tom Holland is the best at playing Peter and Spider-Man.
Exactly.
But he doesn't get the opportunity to actually be the fucking Spider-Man.
Until the end.
Until the end.
When
the fucking
you're robbed
tech
of it
is off.
because you don't see him in the costume.
Exactly.
Which, and I like that they didn't do that, but at the same time...
At the same time, I'm okay with it because who's Spider? He's inside. He's Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's not the suit. It's the guy inside
and
the suit.
that's where he gets it. But I mean, none of this would have meant nearly as much without the end, third quarter of the movie twist, because we knew Michael Keaton was Vulture.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that. We saw the screenshots.
Yeah.
We were like, holy fuck. He's wearing the helmet, the glowing eyes. It looks crazy awesome.
Yeah.
It looks way cooler than the iconic costume. Okay?
Oh, Vulture looks amazing.
I would have lost my mind if I saw the iconic costume in the Sam Raimi trilogy. I would have thought that's the coolest fucking shit ever.
Yeah.
And then I would have saw this and I would have been like, that's better. That is way
that
better.
That is better, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But my favorite part is because we knew that his daughter was in the movie. But we were told that it was actually going to be the MJ character.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that it was actually Liz. Liz was the daughter, and I remember when he answered the door, because Peter Parker is going to the homecoming dance with Liz, and fucking... Is his name actually Adrian in the movie? Because his real name's Adrian Toomes, I think.
Yeah, it's Adrian Toomes.
Yeah. But so then, when you see Michael Keaton answer the door, I remember being in the theater and everyone was like, "Oh."
I thought MJ was his daughter in the movie.
We were told beforehand.
I thought he went to get her.
No, we were told beforehand in the lead up to this movie that MJ was his daughter.
Yeah.
When you actually watch the movie and you realize that Liz, they faked us out.
I gotta rewatch it because, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm thinking he went to get MJ and Adrian Toomes was MJ's father.
Nope. Because see, the thing is that we don't even know her name is MJ until the end of the movie.
Well, she calls herself MJ the whole movie. It's the end of the movie where she goes Mary Jane.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's MJ all the way through. That part was annoying, actually.
That was annoying. It was a stupid...
It was their attempt at having their cake and eating it, too, by saying, it's MJ, Mary Jane, but not the one that you really think it is. But I actually like the fake out.
For Marvel being part of this, it's just fucking weird.
But I love the fake out, because I remember sitting in the theater, and all of us were like, whoa.
And that was an intense fucking car ride to the prom, too.
The whole sequence, the second that he opens the door, everyone in the audience is like, whoa. And you don't ever bounce back from that whoa feeling because you're just like, holy shit. Mm. You are just like Peter in that scenario where you're like, what the fuck is he going to do?
Yeah.
What is going to happen here? And he's cool. He's like, hey, Pedro, I'm going to be dad jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then that car ride where suddenly he's just like... Oh, wait, hold on. You were there, but you weren't there, but Spider-Man was there, and you know Spider-Man? Okay, and then you feel it, and then the shift happens, he's like, oh, I'm gonna do the dad talk. She's like, ugh. Goes in, and then he leans over with a gun, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? Just walk away and everything's fine. If you don't, I will kill everyone.
Yeah.
And you're just, whoa. Because, and this is where you still get behind him, because all he's ever done is to make sure that his family is taken care of.
Yeah.
And that's why he wanted to be under the radar. That's why he killed the first Shocker, which was hilarious, too.
Yeah.
The Shocker! The Shocker! Then he kills him. Oh, I just wanted to scare him.
And now you're the Shocker.
And then he goes, you're the Shocker now. I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was great.
You know? But yeah, like, even though, like, he didn't ever want to kill the guy, but he realized in retrospect, well, I had to, but okay, doesn't blink afterward. He's like, well, you're the Shocker now. Okay, go back to business, and now everything's going to be great. The whole reason why he didn't want to do the high altitude one was because it's too big.
Yeah.
But now, well, he's out. FBI knows about him. Tony Stark knows about him. So he has to do this one big last score so he can fade off in the distance. You know? But I also love at the end when he's in jail and they're like, hey, heard you knew who Spider-Man was. And he goes, no. And you're like, nice. He saved his daughter.
I like that.
He saved his daughter. So at the end of the day, he's like, okay, this is it. I feel like after this, though, they're even.
They're even. All bets are off now.
Fucked my life up. Saved my daughter.
Yeah.
Now we're good.
Yeah.
Because afterwards, it's going to be hell to pay.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like I said, so if it wasn't for such a great villain, I don't think it would have been as impactful.
Mm.
Because some of that stuff is just too glaring. Like, you can't tell me that nobody was sitting there going like, hey, Tony, I looked at the pre-shipment, and this is the manifest.
Yeah.
Post-shipment, we're light. We're missing some stuff here.
Mm.
And for 8 years, like, no one's building a case. No, like, Tony Stark is not.
Well, what about the fucking drivers and stuff? Hey, some guy with wings came after me.
Yeah, I was looking in the rearview mirror, and some guy with wings was flying around, but then he disappeared.
Yeah.
We're
short half the truck. There was a guy with wings.
Yeah.
But whatever, let's just keep moving on.
You know what, Bill? Maybe we don't mention anything because we don't want Tony Stark to get mad at us.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so I mean...
It's a pretty big hole.
I've watched the movie a ton of times. I do overall really, really like it for this, like, even just something as simple as that's the brightest that costume has ever been.
Yep.
Even in the Amazing Spider-Man ones, and it's brighter in those ones, this is still the brightest it's ever been.
Yep. It's a bright costume.
You know, and I popped hard for that when you actually got to see a bright blue and red Superman, and it was the same with that too. I was just like, oh man, this is so great.
Yeah.
I hope and pray that the sequel is standing more on its own feet.
Me too. I don't even want happy in it. I want it just
to agree. Like, I feel like
Spider-Man movie.
Especially because after Infinity War, that's the other thing. Like, while I admit now I'm glad, like, I'm happy that he's wearing the Iron Spider suit because it makes sense in the context of this movie, but I hope that that's it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to see him constantly wearing the suit. I want him to go back to that suit because that's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if he has access to it for when the stakes are high, okay, that's fine. That works for me. Because in action, the suit does look cooler, but I don't want to see him in armor all the time.
Yeah.
You know, especially because I hate the Iron Spider name.
Yeah, I hope the Iron Spider is a one and done.
I hope they don't even call him Iron Spider. I heard a rumor that they were going to call him Iron Spider in this movie.
Oh, guaranteed.
And I hope that they don't.
It's already on the toy packaging, Iron Spider.
I just hope they don't call him that in the movie. Or if they do, he literally goes, hey, I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, because I do like that even though...
Well, he does call himself Spider-Man in that scene with Doctor Strange.
Which I was just about to say, because I love that part where it's just like, oh, we're using our made-up names? Well, then I'm Spider-Man.
So maybe it'll just be like people watching from the distance going, oh, the Iron Spider or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be like a one and done just because this alien invasion shit's happening.
Well, if you look at the trailers, the way the trailers sort of line up, he's wearing parts of his old costume when he's on the alien ship.
Yeah.
And then after that, you only ever see him in the suit. So I feel like it's one of those where Tony's like, "No, you need this."
Yeah. Now you need it because he refuses it at the end of
Which
this
I loved.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it because when we were getting to that part, they showed the costume, and I was like, "Fuck no,
I was like, ugh.
no."
You're not Iron Man enough already.
In movement, the suit does look better, but I was like, "Don't do it." And then when it's just like, you know what? No, you know what? I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home. And then they have that scene where you find out that Happy's the reason why.
Yeah.
I was like, that is great. Like, I love that he was just like, you know what? No, I'm good. And then he's gifted the suit later.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
That's how it should be.
And then you get the greatest scene ever where May catches him in the suit and goes, what the fuck?
Yeah, he cuts the credits.
You know, and yeah, sure, that's similar to when Tony Stark goes, fuck it, I'm Iron Man.
Yeah.
You know, which was awesome. I don't care what anyone says, it was great, but I love this scene because I kind of like the idea of May knowing that he's Peter Parker, and I think that's because I liked in the comic books where when she originally died, and she said, come on, you lived with me forever. I knew you were Spider-Man. Why do you think I hated him so much?
Yeah.
I thought that was beautiful, and I cried when they killed her off that way, and I was mad when they brought her back, because I was like, that was such a beautiful ending. But even in the Ultimates, you know, when it comes out and they have the talk, and it's that talking episode of the Ultimate Spider-Man, and even that's amazing, because she's just like she's having a hard time dealing with the fact that he's a fucking kid, and he's putting himself in these situations because he didn't save Uncle Ben. And then, of course, it leads to the ultimate death where you're just like, I couldn't save Ben, but I saved you, and I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking cry, like, right now, because every time I'm just like, that is so beautiful. So, you know, having her know, I think, is great, because, again, we don't have to do the hiding. That's another thing I didn't like with the Amazing Spider-Man ones, where the hiding of it from her was stupid. Like, it was really dumb, and I was like, ugh, fuck off already. Like, so now,
this shit.
But yeah, so, like, overall, I think it's a great depiction of Spider-Man for the most part. It's one of the better movies, because even though Andrew Garfield, or the Amazing Spider-Man movies, did better stuff with the costume in the second movie, they're still not great Spider-Man movies.
No, they're not. They're at the bottom of the pool.
Yeah, even Spider-Man 3 is my least favorite out of all of them, and the Amazing Spider-Man movies are below that movie. Yeah. You know? Because it's like they got too much wrong by trying to do two different.
The first Amazing was okay at times with the lizard. The second one, though, was just awful.
It was okay you're right, okay at times with the lizard. Yeah. But the second one was just, I
don't know what they were thinking with that. They were planning the Sinister Six. Yeah. There was too much in that movie. There was too much, and then they rebooted it, and now they got all these fucking plot threads hanging there. Yeah. So.
But overall, I really enjoyed it.
So that's Homecoming.
Yeah, that's Homecoming.
I don't own the next two, so we're just gonna chat about them.
That's right.